Hello, I'm Janet.
I'm Ashley.
And I'm Amber.
And we are
two girls and a bottle of wine.
Because men like boobs.
And girls like wine. Happy day. It's Wednesday.
It is. Hump day. I feel like this week's going by faster than last week.
It is.
I agree. Like, work in my world has blown up. I'm like, were people like just chilling, and now that they're slowly reopening things, they're like, oh, back to work we go. I've been here the whole time, guys. But today was good. It was just the last couple days been a little crazy.
It has been.
What have you guys been up to?
Over the weekend, we decided that we're going to get air conditioning put in our house next weekend.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Do you guys even have a swamp cooler? Or you have nothing?
Nothing. You have a furnace.
That's the opposite. Yeah.
Internal and in the house.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, so well, that's congratulatory news.
Yeah, thanks. We're getting a pretty good deal on it, too. It's like $3,000 less than everything we were originally quoted on. So,
oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's very nice.
Ashley, how about you? Any new news?
No, not really. We've been doing a ton of yard work.
How's the dandelion battle?
Oh, my gosh. I hate dandelions. Like, they can...
I did 2 rounds of Roundup in our backyard, and they're still growing.
You gotta pluck them.
Yeah,
I know. We're gonna pluck them this weekend.
Our front is done, and then we've got 2 layers, like 2 levels in the back, and the bottom level's done, and then the top level's about a fourth of the way done.
Wow, you're making some progress.
Yeah, so it's just it's a battle against the height of the grass, because the grass is almost getting too long, and Pat's like, I need to mow. And I'm like, I know, but I need to finish the dandelions. So I might just let him mow, and then maybe the dandelions will be easier to find.
Maybe. I don't know how that works.
Well, because right now, sometimes I have to dig through the grass because it's so tall and so long.
Yeah.
But,
have you guys planted grass seed before? We're doing that, and that is tedious.
Yeah. The best, are you just laying seed, or are you doing sod?
We put seed in the front yard, and the sprinkler man hasn't come yet. And I was like, Steve, why don't we call the sprinkler man? He's like, oh, he calls me. And I'm like, oh, okay. So now I am having to manually put a sprinkler out in the front yard every morning for 10 to 15 days. Because that's the guy that mows our lawn was like, you must water it for 17 days straight. Okay, I'm on it.
Yeah, the best stuff is the Easy Seed, the Scott's Easy Seed. Legit, I don't know what's in that, but the guy, when he sold it to us, said you can grow grass on concrete if you water it enough.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I bought 2 kinds. That's the second kind I bought, and Amazon still has yet to deliver it 2.5 weeks later. So
I've been having really good luck with Amazon, but it sounds like everybody else is having horrible luck.
Yeah, no. I'm 2 weeks out still.
Yeah.
Really? I've been getting stuff in 2 days.
I ordered my Mother's Day stuff last weekend, and the last piece is going to be delivered tomorrow.
I need to do that today.
Oh, yeah, because didn't I tell you on the last podcast that I ordered it? And it's been coming in pieces. And my mom's like, I got another package today. And I feel bad because she has 3 or 4 packages that are arriving. And so her expectations may be a bit higher than what is actually in. I got her a word search book. That came in 1 package. I got her pens to use in the word search book. That came in another package. I'm like, oh my gosh. It's like an advent for Mother's Day.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So, before we jump into Listen to Your Heart, there's been a lot of Bachelor news. I didn't pop any of the links up, but I think the biggest one that was annoying to me was Peter. And
yeah,
Kelly.
Kelly. I don't know why I want to call her Sarah.
Was there even a Sarah on his season?
No. I don't know many Sarahs. I wasn't impressed with his season. And now I just don't care what happens now. Get off my news feed.
Well, yeah, and he's just boring.
Yes.
Him and Kelly should have just gotten together before the damn season and we all could have been saved.
Right?
That's true, actually.
And she got kicked off.
Opportunity.
She got kicked off relatively early in comparison to some of the others.
Yeah.
I don't even understand. So I'm trying not to think about it.
But Barbara, Barb, is very excited about their relationship and calls it serendipity.
Of course.
Barb.
Yeah. She loves a good love story.
She just would be the worst. She is monster-in-law. She is
for sure
the worst. I would never. My ex, his mother was, whoa. And that was a huge relief when we broke up. I was like, oh, I dodged that bullet. And so many others, but that was one big one. And even people came up to me afterwards and they're like, so yeah, at least you don't have to deal with that anymore. I guess.
Yeah. I'm lucky. Pat's parents are great. And I hope he feels the same about mine. So I'll just leave it at that. But I do. I love his parents. They're great.
What are you drinking?
So I am drinking a Pinot Noir. It is, the wine is just called R.
R.
So I think it's actually really good wine. But I think the guy's last name of the winery or whatever, I think his last name starts with an R.
That makes sense.
I don't really know, but it's actually a pretty good wine. But I think it is on an urge to splurge. I think it's 16.
Ooh. Ashley?
I'm still drinking my my sour. I can't remember what it's called.
The sour beer?
Yes.
Okay.
We haven't been Crush. Thank you. It's a raspberry crush. We haven't been to a liquor store in a while, which for people who don't know, in Colorado, if you want wine, you have to go to a liquor store.
Mm-hmm. They also deliver.
I know.
A lot of places deliver.
I haven't really been wanting to spend money on a ton of liquor right now. Shockingly. Now's the time to spend it.
Right?
But yeah, so I've used, I think, more wine for cooking than I have for drinking, because I've just been emptying all my partial bottles into our meals. I think I'm down to one bottle of wine, and I'm really saving it for a good reason.
Right. Yeah. So. Tonight I'm drinking Malibu and Diet again. No wine here.
Oh, see, you and we have all three. Amber's wine, I'm beer, you're
Malibu.
Liquor.
But it's not really liquor. It's Malibu.
Isn't Malibu a hard liquor?
It's not liquor. Hard. It's
but it's a liquor.
Okay,
yes. It is. It's technically a liquor. It just makes me feel bad when I say I drink a liquor.
Oh, why? I love vodka water.
Yeah.
Give me vodka water and lime any day.
It's not like you're drinking it at 9 a.m.
That's true.
Are you?
Or drinking red wine with your breakfast like somebody else we saw this week.
Oh my God, okay.
Was it red wine?
It was.
I said it was red wine.
Oh.
It was.
And
he even talks about it.
Oh.
Did he have he had a cinnamon roll or something, right? With it. I was like, what?
My blood sugar just went crazy thinking about that concoction. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So for anybody who didn't listen to your heart this last week, you have no idea what we're talking about.
But we will talk about it when we get into it.
Right. I do want to tell a story about, speaking of hard liquor. On Saturday, I was like, hey, Steve, let's do a local restaurant. We'll order and pick up. My husband, he is extra always. So first he brings 2 menus to me. He's like, well, I'm thinking we can order these from this restaurant and these from this restaurant. And I was like, okay, 2. So I accepted that fact. And then none of them are in Parker. One is in Centennial. One is in Littleton. And I was like...
A really long walk.
So we definitely exceeded the 10-mile radius advisory. And so we went to the first one that was closer, Centennial, and I walk in. It's like this local brewery pub place.
What's it called?
Yeah.
Dang
I don't remember. Okay. And so I walk in, and I was really excited because I ordered crispy Brussels sprouts. And
where's it at?
Where's
the location?
It is Centennial. It's right near Shipley's Donuts.
Okay. Centennial's really big. That doesn't help me, so.
It's right off of Orchard and Parker Road.
Okay.
In that cluster of places. Okay. So I walk in, and my food's not ready, and the owner was there, and he was a little grumpy on the phone. And I guess his brother was with him, and his brother had been drinking. Yeah. And
Is it called Thirsty 30 Craft?
Yes, good job.
Oh, good.
See?
I was Googling
my directions helped you find that out. Good job.
Yes.
And they were very nice, and they were like, well, your food's not quite ready. Can we buy you a drink? And I had my mask on, and he's like, you're very pretty, even with a mask on. And I was like, husband's in the car. I'm like, okay. And so he's like, do you like sweet? And I was like, yeah. So he gets Jim Beam apple and Jim Beam cinnamon and pours them together to a shot that's like a triple. And I was like, oh, I drink Malibu. The alcohol content of Malibu versus Jim Beam. Oh my God. So I was like, okay. And so I drank it and got my food and got in the car. And like 5 minutes later, I was like, Steve, I am so buzzing.
So you did the shot. Good job.
Yes. You don't say no to free alcohol. That's a sin.
That's a true story.
Yeah, but I don't know if I could just down the shot.
Oh, it took me a good 4 gulps.
Okay, so this place is not far from us, and I had no idea this place existed.
I didn't either. They had a flyer in one of our local advertisements, and I was like, why are they advertising in Parker?
Oh, I wonder... How was it? How was the food?
Really good. They had the crispy Brussels sprouts with a balsamic glaze. You could have a spicy sauce on it as well, but I opted for that to not be on it. Yeah. It was really good.
I think being from Wisconsin, like, I don't know the concept of not taking a shot whole.
That happens with people like me who... There was a memorable incident at... Sorry, were you done with your story? I don't want to...
Yes, I was just talking about how that alcohol, like, hit me super hard. And I was like, I had planned on drinking wine with my Brussels sprouts, and that didn't happen.
Anymore.
I was like, I don't want to feel like crap tomorrow.
But, like, Amber, people who don't take full shots, that would be me. And bowling, this was obviously before all this COVID stuff, I remember, I think it was somebody's birthday or something. And anyway, there was a lot of Jaeger going around, which I particularly do not like Jaeger.
Yeah, I think we all have...
I can't do the black licorice, but there are some people that do. So they were like, oh, you have to do the shot. You have to do the shot. And I was like, okay. So I took the shot back up to the bar and I said, hi, can you mix this with, what is it, like cranberry and whatever makes it into like a redheaded slut?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then, and so she did, and I came back down and I did that shot because it was not pure liquor. But I can't, my gag reflex, like,
yeah, I think
college, I could, now I can't.
Oh, yeah, no, it just like sticks with you, I think, as being from Wisconsin. Like, when I'm home, if you're told to take a shot, you just take a shot.
But it was
That's just how it works.
It was like 3 shots in one. It was like a big glass.
Yeah. Ours are normally in the big glasses where they set it down and you're like, son of a bitch.
What is it? Like a highball glass? Is that the short little, yeah.
Yeah. Those are horrible. Yeah. I'm made to do like, we have these shots called apple pie that are so sweet that it gives me like gut rot. Or like Jolly Rancher.
Had an apple pie. Oh yeah. Jolly Rancher.
They're so sweet, and sometimes our friends order like 10 of them in a row, and I'm like, ugh.
So, in college, we used to drink a shot called, which I am pretty sure that the bartender had just made it up, but it kind of tasted like Crush Sweet Tart, or not Sweet Tarts, Crush Smarties.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the Smartie candies?
Yeah.
But she called it Puss Venom. And I've asked every single bartender that I've ever met if they've ever heard about that shot or drink and if they know what's in it. And they were like, no. And obviously in college, I was like lit the whole time. So I never once was like, what's in this? Blah, blah, blah. But I think even now it will be way too sweet.
See, I like the sweet.
Yeah.
I like my go-to shot in college was we called it a leg spreader, but I think it's called like a Japanese sex in real life, where it's Malibu pineapple juice with something else. Oh, the green sweet stuff.
Apple pucker?
No, not apple pucker.
Mm-hmm.
The melon.
Midori.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
The melon stuff.
Yeah. And then I went through a phase where that was my drink. I would order that as a whole drink.
Midori?
Midori, pineapple, and Malibu.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That is super sweet.
Now you know my threshold.
Yeah. We used to do a lot of used condoms and Scooby-Doo snacks.
Scooby snacks. Those are kind of like the Malibu Midori.
I think
pineapple.
so, yeah. Because they're that like light, like pastel green color almost.
And there's some milk in them, right?
Yeah, I think
that's the difference.
Yeah.
Anywho, I don't even know how we got here. Oh, yep, still don't know. Bachelor news. What else is going on? So I was listening to the Derek Peth podcast this last week, the Bachelor podcast, and he's gone. They played a goodbye message. He's no longer on the podcast. So we'll see if that one continues. Yeah, he was kind of my favorite. Now it's the same girl. Gosh, I am horrible with names, guys. And a guy that goes by Fat Carrie Bradshaw, super flamboyant. Yeah,
interesting.
I bet it'll be good.
So that's my Bachelor news. What do y'all have? Amber, you sent so many.
I know, but so the challenge with me when I send you guys stuff is I read this title and I don't read the whole article. Oh. Because I'm in the middle of a meeting and I'm like, ooh, Bachelor news. And then I just send it off so I can get there before Ashley does.
You've been
but I don't
it.
read any of it.
So I know you sent one about Demi coming out and talking about why her and Kristen broke up.
Oh yeah, I did send that. I forgot.
Yeah, you did send that.
Her and Kristen met or not met. They connected and got engaged from Bachelor in Paradise. Then they off the show. And 3 months ago, I can't believe it's already been 3 months. They announced they were breaking up. They're both in new relationships. Demi's with a guy and Kristen's with a girl that she's known for a while. But I guess Demi has a podcast now, and that's where she was talking about it. And she mentioned that the reason they broke up is because she felt like Kristen, Kristen loved her more than she could love her. Like Demi was a little bit too self-centered.
But it seems like both Demi and Christian are really happy in their.
I think I was saying Kristen. Dang, names, dudes.
Like I said, it didn't work out, but
how much Malibu? I've been drinking since noon. I have not.
See, I didn't even have to finish the sentence. You knew.
No, that is just I'm horrible with names. Anyone that knows me.
Well, I'm just more upset that I think Demi and Derek could have worked out had Christian not shown up.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I love them.
That makes me think about that.
So cute.
But Derek dropped a bomb, I think within the last couple weeks. I saw this. It wasn't a news story that he and his girlfriend were hanging out. And I was like, girlfriend? He has a girlfriend? And I can't find anything else about it. And people were like, what the heck, dude? You can't just drop things like that and walk away.
Right?
So now my brain is like, maybe girlfriend was like, you need to back away from this Bachelor land. Get off that podcast. It's all me all the time.
Well, and then how good is she really, if that's the case?
Right? And this is just my brain making up stories.
I know, I'm trying to find something, but I can't.
I feel like in the defense of Derek and Demi, I think maybe a similar situation would have happened where she would feel like Derek was way too good to her, loved her too much, and she couldn't reciprocate that back to him.
Yeah, that's probably true.
So, which, like, no knocks against her, but the boyfriend that she has now kind of, he seems like he's probably just as self-centered as Demi is, so that's probably why they work.
Yeah.
But the toxicity of that kind of, she just needs to grow up. We'll see where she is in 5 years.
Yeah, exactly.
She's still very young. Ashley, why are you laughing?
I'm just thinking about young Demi.
Young Demi.
And just like spreading her wings and flying. Yeah. I'm proud of her though.
Yes. All right, you want to jump into Listen to Your Heart?
Yeah, let's do it.
Sure.
This is week 4?
Yes.
And it started at the mansion. Even though they're not in self-quarantine, I feel like it's like a similar situation to self-quarantine. They don't go a lot of cool places. They're just chilling at the house.
Right? I know. I think the Bachelor Nation people and Big Brother people are probably killing all this.
Right?
Yeah. Especially, oh my God, especially Big Brother.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I hope there's a Big Brother this summer.
There's not.
Has it been announced?
I don't know.
Don't make things up.
It's not going to work. It's not going to happen. I just don't see it.
It has to. I'm already very scared about all these, what they're trying to do with Bachelor Nation things. Like, there's going to be a Bachelorette late summer filmed, but they're not going to go anywhere. And how's that going to work with social distance? Poor Claire. Poor Claire. Anyway, listen to your heart.
Really quickly, before we move on, Pat and I were doing a walk the other night, and we saw a couple who was very clearly having like a picnic in the park.
Oh.
And I don't know if I do not think they were married. And Pat looks at me and he goes, I'm so glad I'm not single right now. Could you imagine trying to date? Yeah, rough life.
Oh. Well, I think, is it Bumble has the ads I keep seeing everywhere that are like, don't worry, you can.
Why are you getting them?
I've seen eHarmony.
On like Netflix or something. Not Netflix, on Hulu.
I'm just saying that their information about you is clearly incorrect.
Right?
Because they're targeting ads to you and you are not single.
Their algorithm is broken.
Yeah.
So Chris Harrison shows up and he says they're going to mix things up a little bit.
Yep. Oh, wait. You completely skipped the glass of wine, though.
Oh, yeah.
That was the first thing.
Yeah.
I know. That's like the first thing I written down is they show all the couples in the house and there's Sheridan and Julia, and Sheridan is drinking red wine.
I really thought it was coffee. Where did you see that he spoke about it? Was it on
his Instagram?
Okay. I'm like, I didn't fast forward around there. You following him?
It was wine.
I started following him yesterday.
Got it. Have you followed Julia?
Hell no.
Only if you want to troll
disaster.
her, which I do not recommend trolling anybody.
Right?
But
I don't have the energy to troll, and I'm sure there's probably enough people out there that are trolling it. And
yes,
hopefully she hates herself enough right now that she's trolling herself.
Oh, she's come out and said, like, people are mean. I'm like, well, you put yourself out there. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm very interested. We'll get to this. I'm very interested about Amber's psychological profile of Julia when we get to the end. So anyway, so Chris Harrison comes in and go ahead.
They're going to mix things up. And Julia gets to go on a date with Brandon.
Which,
yeah, shocker.
The couple pairings that they put together, it's clear that they were just trying to.
I have that in my notes too.
Yeah.
Like, especially the others made no sense.
And especially because if you noticed the types of dates that they went on, nothing was musically related except for theirs.
Right? Mm-hmm. I know. I wrote that down too. So if you didn't watch Listen to Your Heart last night, so Chris Harrison talks about chemistry and, everybody needs to make sure that their chemistry is really great on stage. So they're going to mix up the couples a little bit to make sure that their chemistry is good. So like Jamie gets to go on a date with Ryan, which I think in some aspect kind of made sense because they kind of went on that first like
right. They probably paired it up based on the first night.
But Chris and Rudy didn't really make any sense at all to me. And then, of course, Julia goes on a date with Brandon. Mm-hmm. And like you said, you know, Jamie and Ryan and Chris and Rudy, like, they go get massages or they are having a picnic or they're just, like, hanging out. And then Julia and Brandon are writing a song and singing together.
And Julia has the nerve to tell Sheridan that a date with Brandon shouldn't change anything.
Yeah.
I know.
Shouldn't. I like that. Shouldn't.
And then when they like meet each other, so they show Julia and Brandon like greeting each other to go on their date. Sheridan's sitting right there and she doesn't even look at him. She doesn't even, or at least that we see. And she doesn't say, hey, okay, we'll be back later. Nope, just takes off.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it seems like Rudy and Matt went across a golf course or something.
Yeah, that was really
to spy on the house through binoculars.
Is why it made me feel like it was like the producers just being, "Hey,
Trolling.
We need to somehow put Brandon and Julia on a date. How can we do this?"
Yeah,
I know.
And then
weird.
Ryan and Jamie were hanging out in robes. Do you think they really went to a spa?
I don't know. Maybe. Probably in separate rooms. They were like, oh, you go here, you go there.
Yeah.
Because those were also weird looking robes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were.
They looked like they were becoming monks. Something.
Beautiful California. And then Sheridan is at the house singing Come Back, Come Back, Come Back, Come Back song.
Yeah. Which I was like, that's so sad that he's writing a song about her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was very sad.
Yeah. But then, like you said, Brandon and Julia, they head to a studio with a singer-songwriter.
Yeah.
To write a song together called Clarity. Which
was horrible. I just want to say,
bad.
Sheridan's song that he wrote was way better than the song that they wrote together.
And neither one of them were great.
Yeah. And there's like a lyric inside of the one song that's like, oh, it might be wrong, but I still need your love. And I was like, you idiot.
He's so listening to his heart. It's okay to be cheesy. You're on a dating show.
Not for those two idiots.
I know.
Sheridan, yes. Brandon and Julia, no.
And Julia realizes she wants to end up with Brandon. And she seems like she was like just coming to this realization. Does she think we're idiots?
Yeah. Neither one of them, Brandon or Julia, deserve Savannah or Sheridan.
No.
Yeah. Does she think we're idiots, Janet? I think that she has psychological problems. I think she's a narcissist. And I think that she's somebody, which these might just be narcissistic tendencies, but she thinks that nothing is her fault. Like,
nothing.
She's perfect in everything.
She's super deflecty.
Oh, yeah. Like, there is not a true sense of self there.
Mm-mm.
I know. When we get to, which is coming up, I think, when they come back to the house and, like, she goes to talk to Sheridan, I about lost my mind.
That is the
Julia
next thing.
takes Sheridan immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And she starts by apologizing. Oh, yeah. This is, like, where I was like, oh, my gosh. Like, are you a sociopath? Like, I'm very confused here.
And, like, Sheridan's trying to get her to just say it. He's like, okay, yep, mm-hmm.
And, he's short with her.
And then she gets mad. Why are you being so mean about this? Come on now, lady.
He wasn't even being mean. He was asking for clarity. He was asking questions to understand the situation.
Well, and she's apologizing. She already made a point of it. Like, he already knows that it's coming to an end, but he wants her to say it. He doesn't want to have to say it.
And I love, so she, like, breaks down and, like, I can't continue with you. And, like, a crybaby voice. And then when he's like, I wish you and Brandon the best, and walks away.
Gets up and leaves. She's like, you're just going to leave?
But she doesn't do it in a crybaby voice. Yeah, she's just like it's like a switch. Oh, yeah. You're just gonna leave? Like, my performance isn't good enough?
She was expecting him to, like, pine for her. And he, at this point, I think he handled it like a boss, and he exited. Yeah. He's like, okay, guys, I'm out. And
she's such a skank.
Yeah. Well, that's not in my notes, but
that's in mine.
And then I do, like, so he decides to go home, and the montage that they do, it's just so sad. And I'm like,
sad. I had to fast forward.
He's so much better than her. Like, he deserves so much better.
And I saw an article where they had been keeping in contact, and then he kind of stopped once the show started airing and seeing the reality of what happened.
And what she was telling the camera. Happen? Oh my gosh. Maybe he's listening to this podcast and he's like, yeah.
Hi, Sheridan. Like, you can be on you can be on our podcast.
You're right. This girl was batshit crazy. I don't know what I was thinking.
God.
And then Brandon sits down with Savannah, and this man is horrible.
So this isn't a positive, but at the same time, like, it could be seen that way. The only thing I see is that the way that Julia and Brandon handled their other, like, relationships is exactly the same. And they deserve each other.
Not exactly, because Brandon kind of was like, well, Julia still has feelings for me. And was kind of like, it's Julia's fault.
But, like, the way that he's talking to her, and then he puts it back on her.
Yes, exactly. And he's like, you're 5% out. This is why I'm going with Julia.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
And he says that Savannah has an attitude.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, he puts it back on her, just like Julia put it on Sheridan.
What did you expect? That somebody who's falling for you would just, like, when you turn around to break up with them, would be like, all right, have fun, good luck, bye. I'm happy, go lucky. I don't have attitude.
Well, how do you want to feel about it? Bitch, please.
She deserves so much better.
And then, this is the best part. So then he tells her, I will choose you right now. I want to work it out with you. Tell me what I need to do to choose you and work it out. Oh my God. And she's like, I can't trust you. Goodbye.
Bye. Yeah.
Good for her.
And then he turns around and tells Julia that he's choosing to do it with Julia.
Right. Not that there's cameras there.
My God.
He's manipulative.
Oh my gosh. So bad.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So then everyone gets their songs.
Mm-hmm.
Trevor and Jamie are singing a song by Meghan Trainor and John Legend.
Like I'm Going to Lose You?
Yes, that's it. Bree and Chris are singing Lover by Taylor Swift.
Mm-hmm.
Natasha and Ryan are singing You Are the Best Thing.
Yeah. Which I love that song.
It is a very good song.
Yeah. I've seen Ray LaMontagne, and it was actually my first Red Rock concert.
Ooh.
So good.
Oh, nice.
Very nice. Matt and Rudy are singing Tennessee Whiskey.
Yeah.
And Brandon and Julia are singing...
No, JT.
No, it's by Chris Stapleton.
It's by Chris Stapleton. They just did a cover together on one of the award shows.
Sorry, that's the one that
really good.
Have. I don't have the Chris Stapleton version.
It's a good one to listen to on a good, like, slow Sunday. And then Brandon and Julia are singing Pat Benatar.
Yeah, We Belong.
In another place other than this show.
Yeah.
So then everyone's... go ahead.
So it's going to come up at some point because it was like a whole focus of the performances, but I don't know where it was because I didn't actually write it down. But at some point they're talking in like a breakfast room and it's Natasha and Ryan and Julia comes in and Brandon's in there. And
that's what I have next.
Is that what's next? Okay. You go ahead.
No, you go.
Well, so Julia comes in and walks in on the three of them already talking. And Natasha's asking Brandon a lot of questions about what happened between him and Savannah. So she tells Julia to put on earmuffs.
Like you do a 5-year-old.
Right. And she
actually does it.
And I was like, what the fuck is happening?
It's insanity.
Wow. Did I miss this? Did I fast forward through this?
Oh, you must have. Because
I don't have that. It comes up later. Like, it's a big deal.
Like, it's like the biggest thing of the entire episode.
I know later, but I was confused because I didn't see the first part. Okay, this makes sense.
Oh my goodness.
So Brandon's like sitting behind Julia's vision.
And Julia doesn't even try and like look over.
No, she doesn't try to look at him or anything. She just like closes her eyes and puts her earmuffs on. And Natasha is like, so let me ask you a question. If Savannah would have said no, like, I want to do this. I'm sorry. Like, I want to stay here and I want to make this work. Would you have done it? And Brandon leans back and he mouths, yes, absolutely.
And shakes his head.
And closes his eyes like, yes, I would have absolutely done that. But he just says the word yes.
Well, and we see that too from
for sure.
What he told Savannah. He chose her. She just wasn't choosing him back.
Yeah. Right. And then when they're backstage, that's when, and they're getting ready to perform, Natasha reveals this to Julia.
And I do wonder how much time passed between there.
Yeah. This show doesn't reveal a lot.
Yeah.
There's too many people to pay attention to.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that it was probably within like 24 hours is my guess, but I obviously don't know. Like, I think it was either that morning at breakfast or like the day before with breakfast. So there was clearly a lot of time, or I think there was a lot of time. Or you hold it until after. Or you say nothing because it's not your relationship.
Yeah. I mean, I do agree that the timing was bad. I don't think that her intentions of telling Julia what happened were to mess with her psyche.
Oh, but it's all about Julia. And she takes it super really personal. And
you're being sarcastic.
Yes, I am. And is like, oh my gosh, Natasha is trying to sabotage my performance, my gig.
And last week it was Savannah who was trying to sabotage.
Right.
Savannah and her fakeness with Brandon.
Everyone's out to get Julia, you know.
So I know.
I will agree that I think Julia's a whole other package. But I think in the coming weeks, we may learn a little bit more about Natasha. And if you pay attention to little bits and pieces of Natasha, there are some things where you're kind of like, wait, like, what are you doing? I don't know that she necessarily thought that it would like ruin the performance, but I think that she had a purpose of saying it when she said it. And like stirring the pot.
So maybe she is trying to sabotage Julia.
Well, I don't know if she's trying to sabotage her necessarily, but like there's been moments. I mean, think about when Natasha first arrived and she started all of the drama between Trevor and Jamie.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah.
And then earlier in this episode, in the beginning, when they decided which couples were going to go off with each other.
Oh, yeah.
She makes that point about Matt where she was like, well, I mean, I might as well. And da-da-da-da-da.
No, you're right.
It's what we're being shown as well. So,
True.
I mean, they're setting it up in a certain way. And then I think there's some things coming out next week where she does something very similar again. It's very subtle. She's smart. So I'm holding reservations.
She's really smart.
I love her voice.
She's one of the smartest. Well, I was going to say, it surprises me because I feel like she has no competition voice-wise in this.
Oh my God, no.
If this were a singing competition, she would win.
Yeah. Like when they get to the performance or when we get to like each individual couple's performance, I have comments about her, but I don't know. I'm just holding off I'm holding off on a full one way or the other with her because I think she's just doing it very subtly.
So after Natasha attacks Julia takes it back to Brandon, and he denies it completely. He's such an ass.
Yeah.
Why? Like why would he? Why would he not? Like,
and like he kind of
a fight.
There's cameras.
Well, he kind of says that he did it, but he kind of says he didn't do it, and he's like trying to backpedal, and she doesn't at all realize that he's stuttering.
That's because she is Julia focused. She's not Brandon focused.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So now we get to the performances, and the judges are Rachel Lindsay and her husband Brian, Andy Grammer. I don't know who the hell that is, and Tony Braxton.
Andy Grammer is?
No, I even Googled it. I looked at him and I was like, I don't know.
You need to play a couple of his songs. You'll know his songs.
Yeah,
okay.
Are you gonna play a song?
I'm gonna grab it.
Grab it. Tony Braxton Tony Braxton looked amazing.
I love Tony Braxton. But she reminded me so much of her sister, right? Isn't it her sister? The other Braxton who was on... You don't know this song?
Blank. Mm-mm.
What?
What the hell?
I'm sorry. I'm like Brandon was with Pat Benatar's song. But even less...
This one? If you've seen Pitch Perfect, you know this song.
Oh, I haven't seen Pitch Perfect.
What?
You guys, your faces, you like stopped. Is this Frozen?
She did it.
Amber's frozen.
That's like my all-time favorite movie.
Oh,
and
my
like
God.
Sorry.
We need to have a Pitch Perfect. I know.
Right?
Yeah.
I have all 3 CDs.
There's 3 of them?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, Amber. I live in a Janet land.
Hold up. We need to pause here.
You should.
Oh.
You gotta. Okay.
So you're telling me that in the 3 or 4 years that I have been talking about the fact that I know how to do the cup song, you've never once mentioned.
I didn't know what the cup song was.
Know what it is. Yeah. So you've never once mentioned that you don't know what it is, or the fact that it's from Pitch Perfect and you've never seen the movie.
I don't know what the cup song is. No, I assume
and
it's some
talked
trickery.
About Anna Kendrick in her book, and you've never brought up that you've never seen Pitch Perfect?
I like Anna Kendrick and other things.
I could do the cup song right here.
She's doing the cup song.
Yeah, that's from
I'm not
Pitch
singing
Perfect.
it yet, but
Okay, so
I could do
maybe
the whole thing.
after quarantine we can have a movie night.
Yeah. And it'll be Pitch Perfect themed.
Yes. I'm so sorry, Amber. Sometimes, I keep my mouth shut when I don't understand things because I don't want to come across as dumb.
You know how you feel when we say we didn't listen to Miranda Lambert's new song?
You're feeling that right now?
That's what I'm feeling right now.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Those movies are like my life. I love them.
I'm so sorry. Don't take it personally. It's not against you. If you were in the movie, I would have watched it a long time ago.
If I were in the movie, I'd be richer than I am today.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so performances on Listen to Your Heart. You want to talk about it?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So Matt and Rudy go up first with Tennessee Whiskey, and maybe I'm partial because I love that song, but I think they just killed it. They're my favorite.
Yeah.
They're my favorite right now.
They have the little looks, and they're just so cute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love them. They're really good together.
I didn't love how she kept grabbing his shoulder because I felt like it was weird, unnatural. But I like them. How did they end up going first again? By the way, random draw.
Maybe,
probably, or who knows? We could be seeing it out of order too.
It's true.
Editing.
I mean, probably not, but I don't know.
And then we see Jamie freaking out again. I just feel bad for Trevor. Man, he's like having to comfort this crazy lady.
Yeah.
And I think that really did impact because I really like Trevor's voice. And I think Jamie has a good voice too, but it's still like mediocre.
Her performance was a mess. She was all over the place. She was doing like
horrible.
She was doing acrobatics.
Are they next? Yeah.
Yeah. And she kept grabbing the shoulder. Everybody was grabbing shoulders.
And then
that night.
They weren't connecting. And then towards the end, she was like overly dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
And again, the commentary from the judges, I felt like did not accurately reflect what I saw. And they were being hard on Trevor.
You should have been as dramatic as Jamie was. They used passionate, but I was like, no, fuck that. That bitch was way too much.
Yeah.
I didn't make notes about the judges' comments.
I just again, I just remember last week too, because I was like, Jamie and Trevor, and then you guys thought the same thing, and then the judges were like, oh, we loved it, it's so great, you were the best. And I was like, were we watching the same performance?
I don't think they're going to make it through next week.
I don't think so either.
And then we have Chris and Bree, who are adorable.
Oh. Chris's vibrato. Oh my god, I can't say it now. Vibrato? No, Ashley.
Vibrato.
Is that the scarf he was wearing?
That was like.
I'm kidding. That was intentional.
Between that and Pitch Perfect, you're killing me.
I know.
His range was really good in the way that he was able to I don't know. I love his voice. I like it more than Bree's.
Oh yeah, totally. Breeze is I feel like it doesn't match her.
No.
Ooh, excuse me.
Again.
Sorry, I didn't know if you could hear me burp. It's a common theme with Ashley, so.
Right. I just loved how they they expressed their love for the first time after they performed. I had goosebumps.
I still, like, what day are we on?
Who knows? It should show us.
This is weird.
Well, no, if you're spending 24/7 with someone for 7 days straight, you're going to know if you love them.
I spend 24 hours a day with Pat, and like that.
Trust me, I'm questioning mine and Nick's relationship most of the time these days.
Oh, no, Amber, don't say things like that. Stop it. You guys are solid.
Yeah. It doesn't mean that sometimes I don't want to, like, wring his neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I think that's just 10 years with somebody. Or how many are you on now?
6.
I'm on 10.
There you go. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I was bothered by how, like, she's like, I know you guys didn't hear it, but I said I love you. Bitch, please, get off the stage.
It was a little
Chris
stagey.
Prompted, Chris set her up.
Chris Harrison?
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, wait, what?
He goes, what did you just say? So
I didn't hear that part.
A producer heard what she said and said, hey, Chris, ask her what she just said.
Like, grab that,
so I didn't hear Chris Harrison say that. So I was like, really?
Yeah, because I don't feel like she would have repeated it if he hadn't prompted her.
Right. I suppose that's probably true. I didn't hear Chris Harrison say that.
I still feel like it's a stage 5 clinger situation personally, but that's just me.
Wow.
Have you seen that movie, Janet? I know Amber has.
What movie is it?
Wedding Crashers?
Oh, yes, but it's been a very long time.
Okay.
I just saw it last weekend.
I don't watch a lot of movies over. Like, I'll watch Friends over and over and over until the day I die.
No.
But
do you know what movie I watch over and over again?
Pitch Perfect.
Pitch Perfect.
Yeah.
I caught that.
I do too. Every time it's on, though, I, like, stop what I'm doing and I start watching it.
It doesn't even matter where it is. It could be, like, the last 30 minutes, and I will watch it.
Well, that's the best part, Amber.
I know. So good.
I'm so sorry, girls. I feel like I've let you down.
And I'm just sad that you didn't tell me. Like, all this time, I've been talking about the Cup song, and you're like, yeah, whatever, I don't know.
I didn't know if that was, like, a Wisconsin thing, an Oktoberfest thing. I was just like, okay.
Now, I will tell you, I do tend to do it more after I've been drinking, so there is that. But I did learn it from the movie.
Nice.
5 years ago.
So now we have Julia and Brandon performing, and oh my god, what a mess.
Oh my god, that was horrible.
Awkward the whole time.
My favorite comment was from Rachel when she was like, it was like watching a karaoke performance, and I was about died. I had to like pause the show because I was laughing so hard.
Yeah, it was awful. And then like she gets backstage.
It's not Julia's fault.
Oh no, she says he abandoned her.
Yeah.
Right. And Natasha. Oh, it was all Natasha.
It was Natasha's fault that she got up there and sung like crap and didn't connect with her partner.
And I don't like Brandon by any means.
No.
But he was like, you're right. I'm sorry, baby. I let you down. What the fuck? Smack her. Like, no.
Do not encourage this behavior.
Also, I said it's a sign of a player that he uses pet names, like Sweetie. Because he used Sweetie a lot with Savannah, too.
Yeah, true.
And when he says it seems condescending.
Yeah, it's very, like, demeaning.
Like, don't call me Sweetie. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Then we have Natasha and Ryan perform.
Oh, real quick, I just had one other comment with Julie and Brandon. Nope.
My bad.
I didn't realize that I still had it.
Grab that comment.
Right. Like, right before they go to Natasha and Ryan, she was like, I think I made a mistake. I should have stayed with Sheridan.
Oh, yeah, she did say that. And I was just like...
Dumb hoe.
Yeah.
And it's only because she wants to win. It has nothing to do with her feelings. It is because she wants to win.
And she's not.
Sheridan dodged a bullet.
Yeah, he really did.
Yeah.
He may have been eliminated from the show, but he is forever in our hearts.
For sure.
Call us Sheridan.
To be on the podcast, we're all married.
Yeah,
I didn't mean it like that. It's not a Ben Higgins situation.
I know. I just had to clarify in case anyone was wondering.
Oh, that's right. You have people that listen and give you comments afterwards. Yeah. All right. So Natasha and Ryan.
So I love them together, to be honest. Like, I love their stage presence. I love how they play off of each other. I think that they really do have a good chemistry together and they mesh really well. I don't actually have a lot of comments because I did get lost in their performance. Yeah. So despite the fact that I have these reservations about Natasha, she's got a damn good voice.
She does.
And I think that they work really well off of each other. Like, they have had the most natural chemistry on stage.
Oh, for sure.
They both are doing, I think they're doing a great job of not only connecting with each other, but connecting to the audience and still keeping it as like a performance.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And she was like the only woman who did not consistently touch the man's shoulder.
Yeah, no, she didn't.
Like, their movements to each other and with each other, it was very natural, where everybody else still kind of seems like they're trying to play it. Mm-hmm. So, yep.
Then after the performances, you know, it's all about Julia.
Yep. Which, yeah, I did think that was funny when Natasha's like, it's not all about you.
Right? What? What, Natasha? What, Natasha? I thought it was. It's all Julia.
That was my favorite part.
I had questions about Natasha, but I really liked her in this episode. I see you still have questions, so we'll see. I loved Julia the first episode. I was like, she's so great. No. She's so humble. How could all these guys be into her?
Antisocial personality behavior, like disorder. So for antisocial personality,
Julia,
okay, leads you to leads you to believe that she's, because that's how like sociopaths and psychopaths and all of that, you know, it's always somebody who's a serial killer and they're like, well, they just were such this great person, they were so charismatic. That's being antisocial. People get it confused because antisocial makes it sound like you don't talk to anybody,
right?
But it really is that you make connections based on what you think you're supposed to be doing, and it's about, you know, being very charismatic, and you can play people like a damn fiddle, and that is exactly what she does.
Yeah, that's like the true sign of a sociopath, right? It's somebody who can reflect feelings, but they don't actually feel them themselves.
Exactly. Yep.
Wow.
So I've known a couple of those in my day.
Yeah.
Yikes, you have? A few. What?
Yeah. I've known at least two that
I work with one.
Like off the top of my head. Mainly because there is an amazing book. It's called The Sociopath Next Door. It's really, really interesting.
It's very good.
It's on my Kindle.
Yeah. I'll have to check that out after I watch Pitch
It's really interesting. Yeah.
So now it's time for the rose ceremony.
Yeah.
Everyone gets a rose except
they took
Brandon
your
and
guys'
Julia.
comments from last week. The producers did, and they said, hey, we're going to hand these roses out right away.
Right away. There's no waiting needed. Yeah. So everyone gets a rose except Brandon and Julia. And
yep. Thank God.
And again, she outlines the fact that she should have picked Sheridan instead of the man who they didn't even give an exit interview to. Did you guys notice that?
Didn't even notice.
He probably flipped the camera off and just kept walking.
Now we only have 2 more episodes left.
Oh, I know. Who do you think? Which couple do you think will make it to the end? Like,
it has changed for me every week.
I know.
I
love Matt and Rudy.
I don't know. Do you think that they're doing them in order of like ranking?
No,
I don't know. Maybe
like, worst to best, because Brie and Chris, I think, have been like one of the first couples every time, and I still think it's going to come down to Brie and Chris and Natasha and Ryan right now.
Yeah, probably.
What about Matt and Rudy?
I love them. They're my favorite couple.
Like, that's who I would want to win, but I don't think that they're going to do it.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to make it.
I don't think that they're going to make it past that relationship point to be able to prove that they're ready to take the next step.
I think that Rudy still has a lot of insecurities that are going to be hard to push through in this type of scenario and make it on stage and all of that. And so I think that that's still shining through in their performances, is her insecurities. And where I don't think the other couples have those insecurities.
Well, except for Jamie, but they're going home next week. So
Oh yeah, I actually honestly even forgot about them. Didn't even think about it.
When is Caitlin on?
She's on the final episode.
Oh, save the best for last.
I know.
Who's on the next one?
I don't know. You know, I do have to say though, didn't they originally set this all up as if like JoJo and her fiance, whose name I'm currently forgetting, were like, Jordan. Who, by the way, was in Pitch Perfect.
He was?
He was?
Yes. So because the Green Bay Packers, there are Green Bay Packers in Pitch Perfect 2. And if you look really closely, you will notice a guy that looks like Aaron Rodgers.
But isn't.
It is Jordan Rodgers. And that was before he was on The Bachelorette.
Huh. So that must have been when him and his brother were still talking.
I don't think so. I think they still weren't talking then.
Oh, okay.
But anyway.
So the best part of the episode, guys, the very end after the credits.
Janet and I are like,
I don't think I watched it.
Neither of you watched it?
No, I watched it.
It is they're interviewing Rudy for her date with Chris. Yeah. And she is watching Matt work out. And
she cannot concentrate.
She keeps getting distracted.
Aww.
And it's hilarious. You need to go back and watch it. It's like the best 30 seconds of your life.
You should also look for the YouTube video of Rudy. Oops.
I hear that's really bad. No, this is about.
Oh my god.
Was that Pitch Perfect?
No.
Oh, what was that?
A commercial.
Oh, my bad. I'll leave you alone. Carry on.
If you do a YouTube search for Rudy and Chris Have Big News, there's an extended scene that is hilarious.
All right, I'm going to do it.
I will.
Between Rudy and Chris, and it was something that we didn't get to see in the original episode, and I was laughing. It's funny.
I really wish that they would have gone back and edited this to give us like 8 weeks. I think it could have been so much better.
Yeah, I think if they had given us 8 weeks, I think it would be better because we would be able to like invest a little bit more in the personalities.
Mm-hmm.
Because I started following, so yesterday was the first day I started following people. So I followed Sheridan and I followed Savannah and I followed Matt. Sheridan and Savannah have songs on iTunes.
Oh.
And they're pretty good. So Savannah's actually, it's funny. So when I got to work, I was like, well, I'll just listen to her song and then I'll shuffle the songs around. I listened to her song over and over again for a good like 20 minutes and didn't even process it. But Sheridan has like 5 or 6. But his are really good too. So
hopefully
plug there.
Hopefully they'll do they won't. I know the winners get like a tour, right? But I think they should do like a whole tour with the top people.
Well, I mean,
outside of Julia and Brandon.
Yeah.
And Jamie and Trevor.
Like as individual artists?
Just as a group. You know how American Idol does the tour after the season? The top, whatever.
Well, because isn't the prize for them to almost be like a duo artist?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So then I would say like the duo artists and then individual artists. Like they don't necessarily have to.
Yeah, I think the Bachelor world could make some money off of this.
Yeah, I won't be attending, but...
Why?
Oh, maybe. If Matt's there, maybe.
All right, what are you girls listening to?
So...
You just kind of shared that, but more?
Yeah. I have been listening to my book. So when you first... Yeah. I used to not listen to books on tape.
They're great.
Like, listen to the Audible. And now I'm kind of loving it because I've ran out of podcasts to listen to.
See, my husband left on Monday to go see his family, and I'm walking by myself again. Now. And so I'm catching up on podcasts.
Mm. Make sure you're listening to murder podcasts while you walk around by yourself, too.
Oh, do you know how freaky this was? Okay, I got a story. I was listening to Southern Fried True Crime the other morning, and I was on my walk. It was before work, and I'm like, listening, and it's near the end, and it's kind of tense. And like all of a sudden, I hear this guy yelling, and I was just like, "Huh?" And I like turn around, and all of a sudden, there's like this blonde lab, like jumping on me, and his owner, I guess, didn't have him on a leash, was like a good block away and was like yelling, and I was like, "Ah!" It was so bad. I'm like, maybe if I was listening to something a little bit less crimey, that wouldn't have freaked me out so much.
Did you hold the lamp so the guy could catch him?
There wasn't a collar. I'm afraid of dog bites.
What? Oh, I'm not.
I didn't grow up with dogs. Butterfly is my first dog, and she's not really a dog.
So I didn't grow up with dogs either. I like randomly rescue dogs off the street and find their owners.
Oh, see, I'm scared of getting bit.
I've even
my hands go up.
A pit bull in.
Like I'm like,
oh no, I touch all dogs. I assume that all dogs are not going to bite me.
Oh. Well, and you have to let them smell you. Like if they're skittish.
But yeah. I was skittish. I was like,
usually they won't. Like they would never attack. They're more curious.
Yeah.
And I get that. And this one seemed very like, "Hey lady, what's up? What are you doing? Hey, you wanna pet me?"
They just want to be loved, to be honest.
I would have like taken it down to the ground and been like, "Well, let me rub your belly."
Oh, I was like, I just kept walking. I'm like, "Bye."
Oh no, I would.
And dog ran away.
The dog and petted it and fluffed its face.
But yeah, so since then I've been listening to more like Caitlin Bristow's podcasts and not murdery ones when I'm walking by myself.
Probably better, I suppose.
So what book are you listening to?
So I am listening to a series for Mercy Kilpatrick is the name of it. And like she's the main character. And so I think the one I'm listening to right now is The Merciful Truth, because there's 3 of them. So there's like, I can't remember what the first one was that I finished, but I finished that one over the weekend. And then there's The Merciful Truth and The Merciful Death. And they were recommended to me by my boss, and they've actually been pretty good. I really enjoy them. They're very similar to another author that I listen to or that I read, which is Kendra Elliott. Yeah. It's really hard when I can't like get it off my phone.
I know. I got you. So have you downloaded Colton's book?
Hells to the no.
I did. I haven't started listening, but I did.
I have no interest in... Okay, that's not true. I do slightly want to read like Andy Dorfman and Amanda Stanton's books, but I don't really want to read them all the way through. I just want to read like the dirty details about the Bachelor that they dated.
I think you can find those on blogs and stuff. People pull those out.
I'm just going to search for that someday because I have no interest in reading any of their books.
Got it. Ashley, what are you listening to?
Nothing.
Okay.
I don't know.
Luke Combs.
What are we watching?
Oh, wait. Hey, what am I listening to, girls?
Oh, what are you listening to?
Yeah. So I, of course, yesterday was Cinco de Mayo, so I played the Margarita song by Luke Bryan
I did see
multiple times. And then Luke Combs has a new song called 6 Feet Apart, and it's really good. It's like, talk about how he misses his family, his band, and we're all going to get through this, and it's very good.
I haven't heard it. I haven't seen it even come out.
Yeah, it's on iTunes. Apple Music. Huh. What are you watching, Ashley?
Nothing.
We've been on like a trilogy thing lately. So this last weekend
Twilight?
We watched... No.
I knew it wasn't Twilight.
Back to the Future. Which I think all 3 of them are now on Netflix. So we watched all 3. Which if you haven't watched them, they're from, the 80s and they're...
Michael J. Fox.
They're really good. They're very, really well written, intertwined stories. So, and then this next weekend, we're going to do, because on May the 4th, they dropped the latest Star Wars on Disney Plus. So, which I haven't seen yet. So we're going to rewatch like all 3 of the new ones.
So this is where I am going to go and say I've literally never watched any Star Wars movie.
That's okay.
I watched a couple, but not by my choice. It's like the husband or an ex-boyfriend.
Like I've seen clips, but I've never watched like a whole movie.
The last one that came out in movie theaters, Steve took me at 9:30 on a Friday night after work, and it was one of those reclining chair situations. I fell asleep 5 minutes in and woke up when the credits were playing, so I was there.
Nice.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, we did not go see the last one in theaters because I think prior to our dates that started in February, which we better be getting a refund from AMC because I just realized.
Oh, yeah.
If they survive.
Like,
yeah.
When's the next time we'll be able to go see a movie? Like,
Amber?
October?
January.
Do you have any updates on that?
Yeah. So things have been opening back up, but the infectious disease team that I've been working with, they actually, and the CDC and every other like source believe that we're going to see an uptick in cases in the next 3 weeks. And so they believe that the cases in Colorado could grow up to 3,000 of deaths by June 1st.
So that's my big question. What would they do at that point?
I think, honestly, I don't know. I think they're going to have to reverse it and go back. Like, that's the thing. That's why nobody wanted things to open up too early, is because we almost needed more strict guidance. So, I mean, there was an article that I read about New Zealand where they have officially been able to, what was the word that they used? They've been officially
eradicate.
Yes,
I think
COVID-19. So no one has it. And they've gone a significant amount of time compared to what we're facing in the US without any cases. And so, and the way that they did it is that it was literally like gas stations, healthcare workers, and frontline, like first responders. Other than that, there were no stores open. There was no grocery, like they really condensed it down to make sure that the least amount of people were there and that everybody was staying home, because the only way to truly stop this is to make sure that the disease is complete, or that the virus is completely killed in all the areas that you are, where people are communing.
How'd they get groceries and stuff like that?
So I actually didn't see them comment on it. So I don't know if there was like a grocery process where maybe it was only delivery or something like that. I didn't see how they did that. So I could have been wrong. Like there could have been grocery stores, because I can't remember from that article. I read it last week, and my mind fades me. But because the U.S. is actually the second country in the world that has the highest number of COVID cases. And so for a while, we were actually beating out Italy and China. And so it's kind of crazy the way that ours have blown up, and they just keep coming. Like they just don't stop. And I know in my hometown in La Crosse, I was talking to Regan and Nick today, and they said that they've been slowly opening things back up. And La Crosse went like 15 days or something without a positive case. And now they're starting to get positive cases again. Mm-hmm. And because of that incubation period and the fact that people aren't following the strict guidelines, people don't want to wear masks because they don't like it or they don't believe it, and or whatever the case is. And if you're asymptomatic, you're spreading it and you have no idea. And because there's so much that we don't know about this virus, there's just no way of telling everything. And so you don't know how long it can live in somebody who has the antibodies, or how long you'll be immune to it when you have the antibodies. You don't know how long it'll live in somebody with asymptomatic side effect or symptoms and all of that other stuff. So if everyone is not practicing social distancing, 6 feet, trying to stay quarantined as much as possible, wearing masks, washing your hands, if everyone isn't doing what they're supposed to be doing, this is going to take forever for us to get out of it. So I think like during the fall, there's also going to be a second wind of it. And that's because it's respiratory season and it's a respiratory virus. So, I saw some people talking about it, and I relate to it a little bit just because being a cancer patient, like you have your before your life, before you had cancer and after cancer. And this is kind of what we're doing now, is we're trying to figure out what our new normal is. Mm-hmm. We're never going to be able to go back to what we used to be. And so this is going to be something new that we're going to have to try and figure out and navigate the best that we can.
We just have to take it one day at a time. As I'm sitting here listening to you, I'm getting a little overwhelmed and
I'm sorry.
I'm feeling a little panicky because I don't want to. I know there's going to be a new normal. I know that. It's not my job to decide what that looks like. So I am one of these patients, I'm thankful I have a job that I can do from my house. So my world has not been as affected as some, but I have to take it day by day, because if I start to look at, oh my gosh, will I ever be able to go to a concert again? Oh my gosh, will I, just the little things.
That's my question, Amber, because my opinion of it is that this is the new normal until there's really like a workable vaccine that's proven out that. So, I mean, they keep touting the end of the year. There's no way. Normal vaccines take 5 to 10 years to develop.
Yes.
So, I mean, it is probably like going to be some situation like this for the next couple of years. But to your point, I'm more like, governments, we need to figure out how to combat this situation in the future so that we don't have this same thing happen.
Well, there was an article that also came out in the last week or so about a woman who looked at all of the stuff that took place when we had that Ebola scare about a year or two ago. And she was like, and fortunately we got ahead of that. We got ahead of it before it got here. I think that's the hard part, is that there was conversation about COVID-19. I mean, that's why it's called COVID-19, is because it started in 2019. So we knew about it and we didn't get ahead of it because everybody kind of just thought, oh, it's no big deal. It's just like the flu. And it is not. Yes, your symptoms are very similar to the flu, but what you go through during the time that you have COVID-19 is insane. It is very intense, and it's quite the recovery from it if you recover. And I think when people were talking about Ebola, they said, we were not prepared, and we're not prepared for something like this because we tend to believe that it's just not something that's going to happen. And now here we are. And I guess for me, like, I'm in it day in and day out. So I talk about it, and I don't even it's definitely a soapbox of mine, but I don't even think about it because I'm just around the stats all the time. And I see the numbers going up, and I see what's happening, and it's an interesting time. And I do think, to your point, once a vaccine is there, I think that we'll eventually be able to go back to some kind of normal of what we had before this outbreak. But until we have a vaccine, but also because there's so many people who don't believe in vaccines, it could be detrimental. And one person gets it, and we just consistently keep going back into this groove, because we're never going to ever, I don't believe that we'll ever fully stop it the way that New Zealand did, because people don't follow the guidelines.
Well, and to your point, if New Zealand stopped it, like, now is New Zealand literally an island where they're not going to let anybody else ever into their country?
I know.
Like, that's the thing about this, is that it's like being a coordinated effort across the globe is really important, because you could have one person travel into New Zealand who is asymptomatic, and all of a sudden New Zealand's lit back up like a Christmas tree again.
Right. Well, and it's crazy because we have a serology test out at my job, and we haven't put it out to the public yet, but people want to get tested to see if they've already had it. They want to see if they have the antibody. And then they think, well, if I have the antibody, I'm just like immune. But the thing is like, we don't really know what that means. There's still, and it doesn't mean that, like,
so much unknown.
Right.
So much
How do we know that in like 5 months, when it comes back around with another big run of it, you could still get it?
It might mutate.
You could have, I mean, people that are showing that some people are showing positive for like 40 plus days, even though they're not having symptoms. And so if they've been positive for 40 plus days, think about all the people they've come in contact with. Think about the people with underlying health issues and all of that. I mean, those are the people that we're putting at risk. And although we're reaching a point where we have not cures necessarily, but like the convalescent plasma and stuff, even once we give that to patients who are critically ill, once they start recovering from that, it's still like another 2-week process of recovering. I mean, people are spending months in the hospital just trying to recover from this.
So, which is really expensive when no one's working.
Right.
Yeah. I know.
Well, let's positive poly it right on out of COVID land.
Yep.
Woo! Sorry. No, it's the fact, but you guys know me. I'm all about avoiding negative things. It's fine. It's not fine, but it is. Yeah.
I just had all of my positive quotes up, and then I think when I was looking for Bachelorette news, it all like went away, Bachelor news.
Disappeared.
Yeah.
Okay, I have my wine book ready if you want me to go ahead. Okay.
Yep.
This is number 23. Push the cork in if you're having major difficulties getting it out of the bottle. I think we've experienced this, Amber.
Yeah.
This is a last resort, but may be the only solution if the cork is broken or jammed. Then decant the wine into another vessel, holding the cork out of the way with a long, thin implement such as a skewer. Push the cork in the bottle. If you break it, push it in.
That's what she said.
I knew it. What's our positive polyambular?
All right. Be strong because things will get better. It may be stormy now, but it never rains forever.
That is true. That is true. Ashley is yawning, so that means
going to sleep.
That it is time to say goodbye. And we have some great social media content coming your way this week. I made you guys do photos. Ashley, still waiting on yours.
Okay.
No.
Nope.
Are we shocked?
You'll get them right now.
When you get them.
Lies. All right. So make sure and follow us. We're on all the socials, 2 Girls in Wine or 2 Girls in a Bottle of Wine. And we'll be back next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.